know you've seen a lot of high-level freshmen in your day. I guess where do these two at Rutgers rank, and what makes them a difficult challenge is because of how young they are?
Yeah, two of the most talented players I've seen at their age with Harper and Bailey, and Harper's healthy now, and he was back to himself. I thought in the last game against UCLA, I thought he was really, really good. He just has such a command of the game and such a great pace for a freshman in college, and he does whatever it takes, whether it's score the ball. He's lethal from behind the arc, get into the paint. One of the best pick and roll players in the country when you look at the numbers. And then Bailey, just his ability to make shots. His 39-point game at Indiana was incredible, and his ability to make tough shots. You can't get deflated when those guys are making those types of shots. You just have to keep trusting it, keep trying to do the best you can to close out and make them take difficult shots. But two of the top 5 draft picks going to be in our building tomorrow. Great challenge for us, and I know our guys are looking forward to getting back on the floor after what happened in the last one at Purdue.
Looking at the past 2 games, how much of that do you think is defensive issues and how much is just guys getting hot?
Well, listen, Iowa, that first half, we were as good defensively we've been all year. We held them to 31 in the first half, which is their lowest point total in over the course of the year. And then obviously they just lit us up in the second. In overtime, the wheels completely fell off. They scored 21 points in 5 minutes, and that carried over to the next game at Purdue. They got hot early, and they obviously were very hard to shut off. There's mistakes. There's mistakes being made, and guys got hot. When we made a mistake, they made us pay. And you just, you look at our numbers, guys. I mean, there's no obviously hiding this of what we've done at home versus what we've done on the road. We just have to be more consistent across the board. That's the bottom line. And, the habits that we try to instill into our guys every day, the standards that we have in our program, we need to be better at living up to those every single day, regardless of what's going on the floor. And, the adversity, when it hits us, we have not responded well, when that has happened to us, especially on the road. So, it's all about getting back on track and doing the best we can to give ourselves a chance to win in this game tomorrow, and then going from there. We're not looking ahead to the next road game. We've got a job to do tomorrow against a really good team that's healthy, and when they're healthy, they are really good. They start 4 freshmen that all have incredible talent, and then you bring players off the bench that really fit their roles well. So we're going to have to be on point tomorrow, and then again, just stay consistent throughout the remaining, whatever it is, 16, 17 games that we have the rest of the season.
How has that regrouping been heading into tomorrow night?
Yeah, I mean, our guys they've been good in practice, but that doesn't matter. That you don't face a ton of adversity in practice. You try to put them in those types of situations. It's all about how you handle that in when the lights turn on and when that game starts. And again, I give our guys credit for the most part. We've got 2 good road wins this year. We won at Creighton. We won at Hawaii. Those are 2 really good road wins for us. The other 3 that we've lost, and 2 of them we've gotten flat out embarrassed with the Michigan State and the Purdue game. And, that last 15 minutes against Iowa and into overtime. It is what it is. We are where we are, and we get a great opportunity to get back on the court tomorrow.
Connor's numbers against mid-majors and Big Ten teams are pretty, end of the spectrum. Obviously, that second half could be a sparking plug for him going forward. Do you think that's saw something from him there?
Yeah, that was the one thing in that game in the second half is Connor got it going again, and we need him. We need Connor out there to to space the floor and to knock down shots. I thought he had a couple other really good looks. He had one chance, to cut it to 18. Not that we were going to come back and win the game, but losing by 15 or 20 is a hell of a lot better than getting beat by 36 at the end of the year when you're looking at your overall resume. So we had a chance to continue to fight, and we missed a wide open one, and they make 2 in a row, and then they crushed us the rest of the way. But yeah, it was good to see Connor get it going. It's good to see our guys find him. And listen, it started that game with turnovers. When we turn the ball over and they get out on the other end and they get layups and they get dunks and they're hitting threes, it's hard to shut a team like that off. And listen, Purdue, they were picked to win our league for a reason. They're really good. But you should never have it where it ended the other night for us. Michigan State, that shouldn't happen to a team like ours. So we got to learn from it. We got to grow from it. And I am confident that our guys will do that.
Yeah, when it comes to limiting turnovers, how do you go about valuing those possessions?
We just got to make simple plays. When we play in a crowd, very rarely do good things happen. When we try to hit the home run, this team is not really built for that. When we hit singles, when we make the simple play, we generally get good quality possessions. And for us, that's what it's all about, is making simple plays, trusting it, and then when you have an opportunity to drive it to the basket. That's one thing our team has done a good job of, is getting to the free throw line. And we don't obviously score it as well as we did a year ago, even though when you look at points per game, I think we're a point behind where we were last year. It's different, though. It's built different. It's more at the free throw line as opposed to making threes, where we led the conference in that category a year ago.
Where have you seen in the past 2 years, where have you seen Sam grow since the time he entered the rotation?
I thought Sam, he was a bright spot for us the other day. I thought his energy, he had a couple steals that led to layups. He's shooting the ball better right now. I think he's up over 40 now from 3 and 50 overall after a really tough start shooting the ball. And, defensively, he's always going to give you great effort. So I think confidence for him has really grown since he got into the rotation from where he was early in the part of his career. But he just gives us so much energy out there. I really felt like at the end of the game, I just tried to have the guys who are out there playing hard for us, and Sam certainly was one of those.
Does the fact that you guys are in a similar position right now as you were pretty much the same time a year ago keep the guys maybe level-headed and not panic after a week where you go 0-2?
Yeah, we talk about this a lot. Our formula is, if you win at home, it's a 0. If you lose on the road, it's a 0. If you lose at home, it's a -1. If you win on the road, it's a +1. And we're still even right now. And, so yeah, it's not time to panic. You look at a couple of the teams that are in front of us in the standings, they're also at a 0. And, the team that's got the highest plus at the end of the year generally wins the league. I think Michigan State and Michigan are both a +3 right now. So, we just got to keep grinding and again, trusting. I think sometimes, there's such an overreaction when something happened like it did the other day at Purdue. And, what do you do with the system? Do you start over, or do you just, what you're doing, do it better, do it longer, do it harder? So, those are the things that we're really trying to focus on right now, because we've had a formula. You look at where we are, I think we're 20th in the nation defensively, but in league games, we're 17 out of 18 teams. So we got to just get back to being who we are and doing it with more consistency and having longer stretches where we do it right. When we do that, we've shown we've got a formula that's pretty good.
On that, with Harper being, pretty good, do you throw different bodies at him? Sam's, smaller, Bryce, not to get too.
Yeah. He's a really hard matchup with one person. Different guys will have an opportunity to guard, and sometimes you're cross-matched. And when you get back in transition, you just have to know the coverages, and again, try to do the best he can to make it difficult, knowing he's still going to get, he's the number 1 scorer in the conference at over 20 points per game. Bailey, I think, is 3rd. So, it's just, again, when they hit shots, you need to try to make them contested. You can't give them easy looks, because those are going in 100%. The other thing that those guys do, they're in such good control. The Euro step, you can't speed them up, and that's really impressive for kids that are their age.
How critical is it to get Juwan going, and where's his confidence offensively right now?
Yeah, you look at his numbers again. I think he's shooting 56% from 3 at home, and obviously he struggled on the road. And here's how it always works. Juwan had one that rolled around the rim about 5 times, fell out, and then he hits one, and they called a moving screen on Burke. That's how it always worked for me when I was going through a struggle. Hell, you made the one and then they called a moving screen, or you stepped out of bounds or whatever it was. But Juwan, obviously he's key whether he's putting the ball in the basket or not. And he's done little things since the minute he stepped on this campus. That's what we love out of him. And when he makes shots, obviously you're in a really good position with Juwan, and he's done that at home. So he's absolutely love the kid. He's going to go down as one of my all-time favorites that have had the opportunity to coach.
Anything else for Coach?
Thank you.
Well, we'll break. They're finishing up.